really grateful that Carla and her colleagues from the Natural Resources Agency and Fish and Wildlife and DWR are able to join us today, and it's not a surprise that they're not all here at exactly the time that we had been thinking, and we've had to rearrange.
Is there anything else going on?
We ourselves recall, it was only a few weeks ago that we were in the same drive to get a very complicated product out the door by a deadline, and of course they're working hard right now to get the final the draft BDCP and its EIR/EIS in shape for public release in October. We had spent part of the spring reviewing an administrative draft of EIR, and this is a step trying to get our own arms around our role as an agency with the BDCP. We're supposed to consult with them and them with us as they develop it. We're a responsible agency on the EIR. When the Director of Fish and Wildlife, if he approves the plan, then that approval may perhaps be appealed to the Council for review to see if it was done consistent with the law. And then when the BDCP, if it's approved, it becomes incorporated into the Delta Plan. And so it's no surprise that with so much writing on the BDCP, the Delta Plan's recommendations, the call for completion of the BDCP successfully, consistent with Reform Act's requirements by December of next year. Now, it's important that it's successful because that can help contribute to recovery of Delta fish and the ecosystem, partly by relocating the diversion points so we reduce entrainment of fish and other adverse impacts in the South Delta. And also it includes other conservation measures that can help restore the Delta ecosystem and address other stressors that damage the Delta's ecology. It also can help improve reliability if it's successful, because it could reduce the regulatory uncertainties that confound management of diversion side of the Delta, provide more operational flexibility, and increase the resilience of our systems to the effects of floods and earthquakes. So because the BDCP is so important, and because when it is approved it will become part of the Delta Plan, we really want the BDCP to work. It's essential to us, since it'll become part of our plan, that we do what we can to help the BDCP staff and participating agencies produce a plan that's going to be effective and that'll dock as smoothly as it can into the Delta Plan. Sometimes our comments can be misperceived as criticism, but I appreciated Jerry Merrill's observations that sometimes the agencies are there not to hand out gold stars, but to try to provide a roadmap to success. So I put that on my wall with a map of the LA freeway system, because I know how many different people are giving them a roadmap to success. They don't quite all match up perfectly, but that was, I think, our efforts. And we can certainly have some empathy with their situation and try to pursue two goals. And of course, every time you try to optimize for one, you find out there's folks who've got the other goal that are not quite so pleased. And so we see them trying to make that work under the pressure of time. Sometimes it's important to take the time that you need to get it right. And sort of having missed our own legislative deadline by a year, we understand that shot clocks are good to force action, but they also sometimes need to be adjusted to allow people to do the best that they can. It's also, I think, important we recognize that there is a lot of uncertainty about actions in the Delta. We know there's a lot we don't know. And we have to be comfortable embracing that, building in adaptive programs into our management of the Delta and into the BDCP. Everybody wants assurances and guarantees that the things are going to work exactly as proposed, but I think the one guarantee that we can offer is they probably won't work exactly as proposed. And so getting folks comfortable with that is always a challenge that the staff working on the BDCP have embraced, I think. So today we hope we could start the first of several briefings that would roll out with you over the fall to help you get your arms around the BDCP and the many ways that it interacts with the Delta Plan and the ways in which we can be more helpful and contribute to the achievement of the Delta Plan's recommendations.
Mr. Wilcox, why don't you come up at the same time here?
Well, we've asked the staff to begin with today with just addressing the big picture about the BDCP. How does it help achieve the Delta Reform Act's goals of a restored Delta ecosystem and a more reliable water supply? And how does it interact with some of the other actions we know are important to solve the Delta problem, thinking about how it might interact with storage, with the levee system, and with other ecosystem restoration actions that the Delta Plan recommends. So, Carla, with that, I'll just turn it over to you. Thank you very much for taking time out of what I know is a hectic schedule, and Carla, yourself.